What's up, everybody? This is your boy Black Otaku once again, here with another slide video. And I apologize, I've been busy. Work has driving me nuts, but I've managed to finally take a week off, so I might be able to give you a video or two, maybe three, depending on how I'm feeling. But let's just cut to the chase. What I want to talk about is if Sanzaru and Sucker Punch and Sony won't give us a sequel to Sly. Another sequel. How about a prequel game that takes place between all the games? I was thinking this. Basically, how about we start with the cookie heist, like everybody's always saying, like Vin Vivi's always saying. Let's just start off with the cookie heist, and actually show how it all plays down. And then after that we go straight to the very first heist, their official heist, but really show evidence of how Sly really isn't that good at it yet. Like, he really had to work hard for it, to really work towards this. Basically, he literally has to come through the back door of places because he hasn't, really developed his, rail walking and rail sliding, I guess. The only thing he can really do is sneak and jump, basically. You know that thing he does when he gets close to a wall and just, dun 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 dun. Come on. That kind of thing. Basically that. Now you have to it's really a challenge because you have to use those two particular skills only. Like, basically that and climbing up stuff. That's about it. Then we go, it's like, then after their official heist, they got lucky. They managed to get away. They managed to get what they came for and managed to get away scot-free. And this is where Carmelita starts to pick up on their trail, hearing rumors about the Sly, like the Cooper gang, a little bit. Like, they pulled off one official heist, but they managed to do it with such, even though they messed up a little, it's still pretty impressive for a few youngins that don't know too much that didn't really have too much experience with this, if you get what I'm saying. Then we go straight to the whole Carmelita and Sly meeting. That particular heist, well, where he, at this point he's, Sly's pretty, a little bit more skilled than usual. But he's still limited because he hasn't regained the Thievius Raccoonus yet. Basically that. Then after that whole Sly and Carmelita meeting thing, we do the Bombay heist, the Firestone of India. You're probably wondering, Firestone to India? Bo, what are you talking about? Black Otaku, what are you talking about? There was no Firestone. Yeah, actually, there was. At least it was implied, I guess. If you go straight to the very first game, if you go back to Sly 1, after you steal the case file from Carmelita's safe in her office and head right to the fire escape, Sly and Carmelita have a little back and forth about how they gave her the slip in Bombay, and Carmelita replies with, the Firestone to India needs to go back to its rightful owners. Basically, we do that heist a little bit. You can say we do that heist, and we'll cut it off right there for that particular part, for that portion of the prequel. Then we do a recap of Sly 1 and its events. Then we start with 2 or 3 heists between Sly, between Sly 1 and Sly 2. Basically, we get a little bit of news on Dimitri beforehand. Like, basically, this is before he joined the Claw Gang, before he started his craziness. And, basically, Sly and the gang, they robbed that little particular event that they're in. Carmelita happens to be there. And then we do a little car chase, do an actual car chase with you trying to outrun Carmelita's sports car with a souped up van. If y'all still wondering what I'm talking about, there's a comic. There's literally a comic with that happening, and they managed to get away because of a ferry bridge. The bridge was opening, going up, and they managed to get away. I find that hilarious. And that whole back and forth between Carmelita and Sly, but in that particular comic. And I think in this particular one, I think they should up the rating for the game now because it's like Carmelita already said, it's like already cursed in that particular comic, and it's like why not? Why can't we get this particular type of Sly Cooper? It's like you don't have to be cursing all willy nilly. Just sprinkle it in there, like to let them know like the rating has gotten up a little, and that sort of thing. That's kind of where I really wanted to go with it. Same way the Jack series went. At first, in the first Jack game, they just did nothing but innuendos and a few, sly jokes, no pun intended, a few sly jokes here and there. Like, you know what they say, baby? Big things come in small packages. Yeah, real subtle. Yeah, real subtle, Baxter. I'm just kidding. But anywho, maybe that particular heist, two more. They can be any random heist. Like maybe a few real world, like maybe a few heists that or based on real heists that happened in real life. Something like that. And then we recap Sly 2. And then we start to really dig in here to where it's like we do the Goodbye My Sweet heist. Like, for real. We do that heist for in between. Like for in between and everything. Something like that. Then we go to, then we do one or two more heists. And we get to where, then we do all the events that played out. All the events that played out in Sly, like the in between here, to where it convinced Murray to quit the gang. And we end that particular portion of that particular part of the prequel there. Then we do a recap of Sly 3. A quick recap. Then we get to what happened with Carmelita and Sly. What they were up to. Maybe do one heist or maybe one little operation with Bentley, Murray, and Penelope, and maybe Panda King. Cause it's unknown whether they're still in contact or not. I mean, they didn't make any mention of the Panda King in Sly 4, but you know where I'm going with this. We pull one little small operation with that. Then we do maybe two big operation stopping missions with Sly and Carmelita, basically where they're crime fighting basically. First little bit of dialogue we get between the two is basically Sly trying to keep up the illusion that he has amnesia, but at the same time giving sound advice on how to basically white collar. In other words, a show like White Collar, it takes a thief to catch a thief. Basically, Carmelita's relying on Sly's past thief knowledge to help her catch these criminals. And so far, it's working. It's working pretty well. Then the second one, they really push the envelope, asking to, what do you think? Like, Sly, Constable Cooper, what do you think? How do you think they stole all this? Well, if it were me, not that I would do such a thing, I would probably go through the air vents, then maybe cut off security cameras and cut off the security beams, and then grab everything I could and plan out my escape, just in case the authorities showed up. Basically, something like that. Then we do a little recap of Sly 4. And then we go right to where we last left Sly. The Sly is then rescued in ancient Egypt, picked up by Sly Cooper and his particular group, and we slowly reveal that those two, that Sly Cooper and Clockwork were friends, actual friends, or maybe they were rivals. And we finally get a little more depth into what was going on. Like maybe Sly Cooper wrote something in Thievius Raccoonus all those years ago, like all those centuries ago, but it now starts to make sense. Like maybe Sly starts to recall that particular passage that Sly Cooper wrote, saying that he used to have a friend, that he friend in his group of thieves that he would help him fly us out of danger. Only because he agreed to split the bounty with him during that time. Because all he did was work and steal from corrupt pharaohs and leaders, which was smart. And that's not a bad idea, because once they're corrupt and everything, all that money, they can't keep track of all that wealth. So, that sort of thing. That's actually a pretty smart thing to do. Like maybe he read a passage, like maybe have him read a passage, like recall that passage in the Thievius Raccoonus, and now it all makes sense. That's Clockwork. Before all the craziness and all the hatred. Like, how did they escape all the time like that? But that's just me spitballing. That's pretty much how I would do a new game, basically. But let me know what y'all think in the comments section. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's have a full-on discussion about this. What do y'all think? A prequel game that takes place between all these games with different heists. Now, it could be like some of these heists could be DLC, maybe like $4, like $4 for a pack of heists, like maybe 10 heists in each little thing, but they all take place, in between games, so it can stay canon. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But like I said, that's just me spitballing. I'm Black Otaku. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.